Okay, so KET versus KET for schools. Does anybody here prepare students for KET for schools? Has anybody heard about KET for schools? You've heard of it. Do the rest of you, can I just ask how many prepare students for KET? KET normal. KET normal, okay. All right, well, the difference is KET for schools is aimed at 11 to 14-year-olds. And to be honest, that is the main difference. Otherwise, it is identical. So the format, the tasks are absolutely identical. On the actual exam paper, the font is a little bit different. The look of the exam is slightly different, but otherwise it is the same. So it's the same topics, but obviously for KET for schools, they're given a slightly different treatment. So the treatment of the topics is more suitable for the age group. So we wouldn't do too much on work, for example, the world of work. So it would be fun topics, things which are suitable for teenagers. But otherwise, anything which I say today about KET for schools applies equally well to KET. Okay, so if we go on to an overview of the speaking paper, in total the test lasts 8 to 10 minutes, so it's very short. It's divided into 2 parts, and there will be 2 candidates and 2 examiners. There will always be 2 examiners. There may occasionally be 3 candidates. If at the centre, at the end, if there's an uneven number of candidates, then when you get to the end, if there are 3 left, they will have the test together. But that's only in those circumstances. Of the 2 examiners, one examiner is the interlocutor. That's the person who will talk to the candidate. The other one sits in the corner and assesses. So that's the one who's actually giving most of the marks. And the speaking paper is worth 25% of the total marks. So it is worth quite a lot of the paper. So it is an important part of the exam. Okay. All right, so moving on, we're going to have a look at part 1. Okay, in part 1, the interlocutor has a frame. That means they actually have a document where what they say will be printed onto that document. And the candidates, in this part of the paper, the candidates talk directly to the interlocutor. So they don't talk to each other, they talk to the interlocutor and answer those questions. The questions will be on very familiar topics that a child of that age will be very familiar with, and we'll have a look at some topics in a moment. And this part normally takes about 5 minutes to do. Okay, you're going to get a handout now. So if you could sit with a partner, because afterwards there's going to be an A and a B. So if you've got them. Okay, all right. Could you have a look at part 1, the part 1 handout? And if you could work with your partner, there's 3 questions. So if you could just work with a partner and work through the questions on the handout and perhaps make a few notes, and then afterwards we'll discuss together. Okay, has everybody got handouts?